Slenderman, Slenderman, all the children try to run. Slenderman, Slenderman, to him it's part of the fun. Slenderman, Slenderman, dressed in darkest suit and tie. Slenderman, Slenderman, you most certainly will die.
Oh, hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
And I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories most creepy and most pasta. Tonight we have, as part of our Slendermonth, the Slenderman Cometh. So, like we said last episode, Slenderman is a tall, dark, enigmatic character that has exploded across the internet, much like creepypastas have in the last couple of years. You can go Google them, probably get a better descriptor than what we say.
Definitely better than what we get in this.
Yeah. But yeah, go check it out. Just Google Slenderman, you'll find billions.
And you will have suddenly more information about Slenderman than I have.
Yeah. So we'll just dive right into the Slenderman Cometh.
Okay, I've just got to say this just because I had this thought when I was searching this one last night so that I could read it. Would have been so much cooler when the one letter switched. The Slendermen Cometh.
Yeah, that would have been just like an army of...
That would have been a ridiculous story. That would have just been awesome.
So, and I think I was talking to you earlier about a Slenderman Comet because of a typo, and you're like, damn it, I want to read that one much better than Cometh.
Yeah. Good old autocorrect giving me better ideas for better stories than the shit you make me read.
Yeah, so if internet, actually a quick request. If somebody wants to write the Slendermen Cometh or the Slenderman Comet, and get back to us.
That could actually be the Slenderman Cometh is just that would just be stupid and ridiculous and awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
it wouldn't be scary, but it wouldn't
be it wouldn't be a really good Slenderman story.
No,
but the Slenderman Comet could actually add to the mythos, even as
it's a cycle or something like that, right?
As well as being a good Slenderman story.
Yeah. He get his power. He gets more potent as a comet goes over the sky or something like that.
More active.
Or the comet or the comet is a harbinger of him. Like Halley's Comet. It came out in the last couple of years. Came out in the last few decades. Could have been that was the herald of the Slenderman or something. I don't know. We're going into speculative fiction of a speculative fiction, and not even touching our story today. So let's just get back. I know it's hard, Dr. Leviathan. Let's get back into the story we need to actually discuss today.
Really good at deflecting the conversation away from an unpleasant topic.
Yeah. So the Slenderman Cometh.
How was your weekend?
It was fun. So this guy Steve works at a cemetery, and works there. It doesn't work. Oh, fuck, I can't even recall it. Does he work the night shift? No, he doesn't work the night shift because he refuses.
He refuses to be there after dark. He's only there during the day.
Gotcha. And then when he gets home, he writes short stories about his boring life. And so he's working one day and putting his tools away and stuff like that. Oh.
Well, I have to say, I'm going to go home and write stories about my boring life. It's don't set the bar too high. Oh, you write boring stories about your boring life? And this is one of them? Well, fuck. Martha, get the popcorn. No. No butter on that. I want to make sure I live through this. This is going to be a roller coaster ride.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay. So, with that, so he's finishing off a shift, and he sees that there's, 100 feet away, there's this tall figure, with a nice suit on, can't really see his face, and he goes to holler at him and doesn't really move or anything. He's like a statue. He goes up to him, starts walking toward him, trying to get his attention, drops one of his tools, goes to grab it, and then goes up, and he's gone. I was like, well, that's really weird. That's kind of creepy.
Well, that's queer.
Yeah. Goes over to his boss, Jeff.
No.
Nope.
Goes home, works a day, he's all, like, jittery and, like, half expecting to see it again, and then goes and then the next day his boss man sees him and he's like, hey, is there something afoot with you? 'Cause you don't seem yourself these days.
Yeah. And Steve explains what he saw and stuff, and he's like, well, I guess the legends are true. The Slender Man does exist. And Steve, along with the audience, is just like, what? Eh? The shit you say?
One reaction for two very different reasons.
Yeah. And so Jeff explains that, like, oh yeah, there's this entity called the Slender Man in legend, but
I don't know it.
I don't know.
I don't know enough about him. But my friend is fucking super obsessed. You should go visit him without me.
And tell him your story.
Here's his address. I guess I'll call him and let him know you're gonna be there.
So
whenever, because we're not gonna really set up a time.
No.
You know, this just seems like a silly plot hook. Why didn't I just be the expert?
Yeah. Why do there need to be two?
Oh, because it wouldn't have been contrived enough. Or it would have been too contrived. Or, fuck, I don't know. Oh, like, what's the difference between, like, his boss being the expert or his boss knowing the expert?
Yeah,
both would take a stupid coincidence.
Yeah.
Like, just a stupid...
The fact that he knows, like, the boss happens to know, because apparently the boss is, like, a friend of of Steve's dad. So Steve's probably, like, a teenager, 20-year-old or something like that. And this Jeff guy is, like his dad's age, so, like, 40 or 50. Why does Jeff know about the Slenderman?
Well,
I guess we're.
I think you're being ageist there,
maybe,
because, like, you know, would you be overly surprised if, you know, someone your parents' age was like, Slenderman, he's so cool, and then there's me who, you know, up until Slendermonth had never read a Slenderman story.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I apologize to all those
those old farts out there,
aging individuals. But yeah, so he goes to James's place, and he's expecting him, and in fact he's got like a table sprawled with photos and clips.
Yeah, he's just fucking sitting at a table.
He's like,
this stranger knocks on his door, and it's like, from what I gather from Steve and Jeff's conversation, is that, like, oh yeah, I'll let him know you're coming, but there's no time set up. So,
yeah.
like...
Just go there right now.
James is just fucking sitting there, all ready for a stranger to knock on his door, and him to be like, yeah, come in, so that I don't have to get out of my chair, so that I still make this awesome impression of you, like I'm some sort of, I don't know...
expert or aficionado of
something that is completely just, like, would take up 15 minutes of my week if I were to be realistic about it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's the shtick with Slenderman, I'm at least getting the impression on, is that there just isn't information.
No, not in the stories and stuff like that, there generally isn't, because it's an internet thing, so they generally tend to keep it as, like, they're, like, nobody has ever heard of the Slenderman up until that point. Or maybe if they have, it's in hushed tones.
Yeah, but, like, you know, there just isn't...
There's no meta.
Yeah,
like, there's generally no metagaming. is what it is. Although there in some stories and some, like, vlogs and stuff, they have pulled a character who's an aficionado or has been, like, following the conspiracy of, like, missing kids and, like, mysterious photos and stuff.
Even Lovecraft had characters who somehow knew about some fucking outlandish shit.
Yeah, they had their Necronomicons and other books.
I mean, this guy's just, you know...
He's just waiting there at his table with an assortment of photos and woodcuts, apparently.
Ah, yes. Jeff had told me you would be coming by.
Exactly.
You know, just like, so, I don't know why we couldn't have done this over the phone, but, yeah.
Because I had to show and tell. I had to show you all these photos. So, effectively, Yes.
I love how when I do the German guy, he's like a Nazi scientist. When you do him, he's like, Hans, a frog. Anywho.
Yeah. So the next paragraph or so is just James is just info dumping Steve with like stuff that is essentially the heart of the mythos, like the stuff that started it, like the woodcut with the German woodcut with the knight fighting a skeleton. That's actually a photo online that you can see that people associate with the Slender Man. The photo that he describes of the children on a playground and there's a Slender Man in the background. That's the first legit like photo that Victor Surge did. He describes anyways. And like even like the kids going missing shortly after the photo was taken, that's all like in canon, like mythos, like original mythos stories.
Okay. I thought these were just like stupid little things.
No, unfortunately, well, I guess no. Those are actually.
So in other words, he didn't even do that much work.
He went on
this story.
He went on the Wikipedia page probably of Slenderman, pulled the photos or the images.
He read their shit,
Yeah.
but he basically just fucking reused what was already done, and all he did was write about stuff of it.
Yeah, he pretty much. I mean, there's no plagiarism because that's what pretty much like most people in the Slender like that do Slenderman like blogs or vlogs or whatever. They generally like take what's already there, but they usually add on it, which this guy doesn't at all. He just like this.
Yeah, and all he's like. The only thing he adds is the encounters with Steve, and they don't add anything.
No, it's
they you know, really all they do is like, oh man, Steve, you must be so awesome and cool because, you know, Slenderman doesn't kill you. Spoiler alert, he doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
And I mean, you fucking...
Yeah, so he gets, again, like, just huge info dump about him, and like, oh, the Slender Man's motives and origin are a mystery, and will possibly forever be a mystery, much like the Lovecraft stuff. Just because, like,
aren't you a fucking expert?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what we do know is that he's tall and slender, and has no face, and appears in photos. That's all we know. Essentially that, like, it's just, like, gives him that information. Says, and so... Steve gets in his head that, well, he wants to find this Slenderman again and wants to stop him. He wants to...
It's been fucking going on for 500 years, but you know what? I'm gonna be the one fucking moron that's gonna stop him.
Yeah. And of course, James, like, kind of, like, warns him, like, don't go after the Slenderman. Like, he's just a force of nature. Just let him be. But Steve, like, fakingly promises he won't, but of course he's going to because it's a horror story. Yeah, exactly. Got his friggin' fingers crossed in the back of his head, behind his back. So the next day he finishes his shift and goes to put his tools away and grabs the flashlight and goes looking around and eventually goes out into the woods after hearing a sound. And
okay, now I just gotta point this out because just a little inconsistency actually. Steve is such a chicken shit. He won't hang out at the graveyard after dark.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I understand, you know, graveyards are by default, on their own,
they are
creepy to a lot of people. Yeah.
That scares people.
That's where we bury dead people. There's a creep factor.
Yeah.
Whether or not it bothers you, it's undeniably a creep factor.
Yeah.
And then, but fucking, oh shit, I'm gonna fucking stalk or attempt to stalk a fucking horrid force of nature that basically exists to kill.
Yeah, that every time it's been appeared, somebody dies or goes missing. Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah, he's got a very, like...
I'm afraid of the dark.
Except when I don't need to
But I'm gonna fucking hunt Slender Man.
Because I got my mag light.
Like,
or even just it's probably not even a mag light. It's probably just like a dinky flashlight got.
little LED keychain number.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah, no, yeah, he's scared of the dark until it's inconvenient for him to be scared of the dark. Like, it's kind of, there's an inconsistency.
I don't work at the cemetery after the sun goes down because I'm scared. but I'm a fucking hunt Slenderman after dark.
In the woods.
Well, in the cemetery.
Yeah, in the cemetery. Well, he goes into the woods because he hears the rustling. And he gets spooked by a false alarm. It's a squirrel.
Squirrel!
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then it's like, oh, well, it's just a squirrel. It just
At least it wasn't a cat, alright?
Yeah,
I gotta say that. I mean, as much as I love the cat trope.
Yeah. And then he turns around and gets... and like just drops as he's been hit by a wall because there's Slenderman, the big tall guy, and like he shines the light. It's like this is the suit. Oh God! Looks up and there's no face. It's like no hair, no eyes, nothing on the face, just blank.
And here's another thing: he's got the light of his flashlight and the full moon. Full moon. Have you been out where there aren't any streetlights and shit with the full moon? I know you probably have, but I'm just setting this for our listeners.
Yeah.
I too have. Many, many times. You know how well you can see on a full moon?
It's pretty good. It's almost like unless there's like a lot of...
You would be able to tell if someone was wearing a fucking suit before you scrolled up.
Yeah, he's trying, in the story, he's trying to, oh my God, I see the suit.
Yeah, but it's not fucking working.
Yeah, no,
and I'm just like, dude, it's a full moon.
You can see the guy.
Like, he's wearing black and white, like, two colors that contrast so very well, especially in, low light situations. Yeah, you can fucking tell he's wearing a suit.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Also, I got a question. Okay, since this fucking woodcut... I gotta deviate again.
It's fine.
Since this woodcut picture has been, part of the is he still sporting the suit in the 1500s?
No, he's wearing, normal...
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It would have been funny if he was wearing a suit, though. Yeah. I know, yeah, and there's other things like
Slenderman and Barney Simpson suit up.
God. But yeah, no, he wears he generally it seems like he wears attire similar to a dark suit, or like a dark attire, depending on the age he's in.
Yeah.
There is actually a photo online somewhere of him in a hieroglyph. Like in Egyptian times, and he has a darker attire than you'd usually see in a pharaoh or something.
And
he
doesn't have a bird face.
No, he's got he's got the blank face. It's just essentially it's a pharaoh with the no face. Essentially, yeah, no,
isn't it dick?
Yeah,
he doesn't have face, so he doesn't have bird face or jackal face.
Yeah,
that was funnier in my head.
Okay, so Slenderman grabs him by the throat, raises him up. And the tentacles start coming out from behind, from off his back, and it looks like our hero, in quotes, is done for. And then dogs bark, and Slenderman turns and looks back to Steve, grabs one of his tentacles and wraps it around his forearm, which burns super
it's
hot
not just
and painful.
Dogs.
Oh, and people.
Jeff. Yeah, it's people looking for Steve. It's not just random.
Yeah, not just random dogs. Sorry, yeah, I should have said that. Yeah, it's dogs and people running out that way. So Slenderman wraps one of his tentacles around Steve's arm, burns like hell, and then removes it and puts him down and just nods, and then disappears into the darkness, and leaves Steve there to be found by Jeff and James. And he's like, "Oh my God, we heard your yell. What happened?" And he's just like, "The Slenderman." And then he passes out, and the next thing he wakes up, he's in a hospital bed. And he's recovering. And so then Jeff and James show up with Steve's laptop.
Yeah, that was...
what?
I was just like, dude, fucking B&E.
Yeah, seriously. So...
you're his employer and some guy, I highly doubt either of you have a key.
He could have asked his, assuming maybe Steve still lives at home, and so maybe Jeff just got his dad to give him the. But why does he have the laptop?
Why would it be handed to him?
I don't know.
Except for the one reason that is
which
obvious,
is
and the one that is totally fucking not skirted around.
Yeah.
Tell your story.
Yeah, so they come in to ask how he's doing and stuff like that. He says he's fine, he'll be out in a couple of weeks. Why'd you bring my laptop? And why'd you bring it to my home? But that's not addressed.
You have to tell your story.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, you have to tell your story. It's like somebody, people want to hear it. It's well, nobody's going to believe it. It's for every skeptic, there is a believer.
Maybe for every 1,000 skeptics, there's a believer.
Yeah. Yeah, even I thought that was pretty wow, that's not how reality works.
That's not the ratio.
Yeah, that's not reality.
As a believer.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
We know you are. Yeah. You're like, no. There's definitely...
I wish
there's
in a world that was maybe it, but no.
Also, I'd like to point something out, again, just because apparently I get to do that a lot with this story.
It's fine. Sometimes how we do with these rundowns.
So... Jeff and these people and dogs are looking for Steve after 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, they heard him yell, so instantly, posse shows up. The yell summoned a posse. I don't understand.
They're looking for him, you know?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
He's not missing yet.
I mean, it would have been cool if
he's running a little behind.
Wait, where's Steve? Mother of God. Get the dogs, Jimmy. We gotta go. It would have been cool, I think, if they had, given us an extra paragraph or something like that, where it described that, he had been...
Where there had been some time that it passed?
Yeah, and that, again, with the Slenderman having, issues with time and stuff, it had actually been a case of, lost time. He'd been out there, he thought he'd only been out there for a little while, he'd actually been out there for, a couple of hours.
Or even if he'd fallen asleep on a rock.
Yeah.
I would have bought that more than people,
instantly summoned forth.
Also, he gives us, his general day. He works at the fucking cemetery, goes home and writes shitty short stories on his fucking laptop.
Yeah.
That is not a routine where people are gonna miss you in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Let alone less than 24 minutes.
Yeah, which is what we have.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, the final thing is that I'll write my story, and then just as they're leaving, he's like, "Oh wait, hey, have you guys ever heard of do you know what this blackened mark is on my forearm?" And they look at it, it's like, "Huh, I've never heard of any accounts like that." It's like, well, maybe the Slenderman left it as a memento.
Maybe he left it as maybe he just thought he needed some ink.
Yeah. And the guy's just like, oh, yeah, maybe that sounds reasonable. And so he starts writing his story, and
that's totally what it is.
Yeah. And then they're left alone, and he starts typing up the story, and it's like we don't know what what I've taken from this is that we don't know what the Slenderman's motives and blah 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 are, but I do know this: he's always watching. Dun, dun,
but he's not.
I know. And that's the end of the story. So, yeah.
He's not always watching. Guys gotta take a coffee break every now and then.
Yeah, no, even I, reading this story, I was laughing at scenes, and just shaking my head half the time at just how bland, how... they chose... it felt... You know what it feels like? It almost feels like somebody wanted to make an introductory... try to make an introductory story for the Slenderman, and just failed.
Well...
maybe they didn't, but, they didn't make it very interesting at all.
They did an adequate job of giving you all of the information. However... because it's all there.
Yeah, it's just...
Apparently. But I didn't know that this was I don't know, I guess Slenderman has canon, Creepypastas have canon.
It has a mythos at this point.
Yeah, so I didn't know that it was actually, I didn't know that it was actually mythos. Just, saying a sentence I never thought I'd have to say in my life. So, it could have been it could have gotten the point across that it was actually, I don't know how it could have done that, but giving you the actual mythos, because I don't know, it's got a fucking guy with way too much fucking time on his hands sitting behind the table waiting for a stranger to knock upon his door.
Guten Tag.
But, I don't know, I just didn't...
Also, why the hell is James freaking German?
I don't know.
The German woodcut?
No, it's because that's my most intellectual accent.
Fair enough. Sorry, continue.
But, yeah, I don't know, I didn't know that it was actually mythos, like I say. So I was just like, oh, he's fucking found something from the 1500s. But nothing in between?
Yeah.
And I'm immediately just going into skeptic mode. I'm like, fuck, I hate you, James. I hate you, Steve. I hate you, fucking review cultists. But, I don't know. It's okay. it gives you all the information, but it's badly written.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, to me it just comes off really bland. The writing isn't anything special. Like, it's not bad, but it's not really good.
There's nothing
mechanically wrong with it, right?
Wrong with it.
But it doesn't
technically works.
Yeah. But it doesn't really capture...
mean it's fun to read.
Yeah, and, like, he jumps to, like, it has that problem where it jumps to, like, conclusions that make no sense. Like, why do they have the laptop? Oh, you have to tell your story. Why?
Yeah.
Why did you break it into what we assume is break it entering his home, take his laptop and bring it to him? Why does
you've been waiting for him to wake up? Like,
yeah. Why, after hearing a story about a weird dude in a cemetery, do you instantly go to the Slenderman mythos? Like,
yeah.
It's just, yeah, there's a lot of, like,
I can
points.
see if you did.
Yeah.
Because, you like to...
I'd hear that. I would hear that. Okay, maybe that is, because, like,
but
I'd hear the description and I'd be like, oh, it's like Slenderman.
His boss doesn't seem like, he doesn't come across as like, oh, man, it must be this fucking thing that I've heard of.
Yeah, like, we're not giving any information.
Like, well, that seems queer.
Yeah.
It must be Slenderman. Like, what?
Also,
what?
He really likes using, like, just, like, the Slender Man, or, like, just, like, constantly, like, throughout the story, like, and, I mean, it's not a big thing, but, like, I guess when I was reading it, it just does kind of come off as goofy, and I guess that's why, like, a lot of people in their Slenderman stories don't actually call him that, or don't repeat it after, like, the first time.
Yeah, I mean,
the
name face doesn't all that often. You kind of feel silly doing it.
Yeah, which is where you get when you're reading the story.
Another thing that this has actually been bugging me a lot recently. It hasn't come up a lot, or like super awesome or super abundant, but it comes up, and I notice it a lot, and sometimes it doesn't really detract that much, but a lot of times, sometimes it does. I don't know. It's just something that I've noticed. It seems like people, a lot of creepypasta, start off, someone's writing something, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write this, this awesome story, and they start off, and they're all fucking enthusiastic about it, and they're, like, this isn't a prime example of it, and they're doing good. See, that's why it's not a prime example. And then they get, like, halfway through, and they're like, fuck, I want to finish it, because I want to post it, because I need to get my likes on. So they fucking rush through and finish it, and then without actually finishing it. They're just like, it's over, we're gonna fucking coincidence jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I get you. And I've even gotten that with writing and stuff. Like, I'll just, like, be right, and I'll stop and go away for, like, a day or two, and then go back to it.
Instead of finishing your fucking story, take a break from it, because...
But a lot of these people that probably write these stories generally just want to get them out and post them, because they're writing it in...
They want to get their fucking like on!
Yeah, and they're writing it in a posting,
well, that's thing. Fine, but don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to...
Use a Word document.
If you're going to contribute to literature, fucking draft that shit up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. It's just, like, don't start something that you're not prepared to finish if you're writing a story.
Yeah.
Or if you're not going to finish it properly, don't finish it.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you're not doing anyone justice. Like, you're not doing anyone who reads it any justice by rushing to the end. And more importantly, you're fucking cheating yourself out of, actually finishing and having something that you can be proud of. Because that's the problem. Because when that happens, it fucking ruins the story, and you can't even be fucking proud of it. Because there's no way that you read back read it back and like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I love it. Oh, I love how it just fucking rushes through the ending.
Yeah. No, I get you. Like it starts off like there's a lot of like you can feel like kind of like some of the like the motivation that the person put into it at the beginning, and then it just kind of peters out.
Yeah.
No, I get
peters
that.
Out, and they're just
that.
like, I want to get it done so that I can be doing something else. Now, this story doesn't really suffer from being good at the start. But it did kind of rush at the end.
Yeah.
Like, it still rushed at the end. So, yeah, that's just...
Yeah, it does feel like, I mean, I didn't really see any grammatical
all of a sudden,
errors.
the fucking... Well, yeah, there's...
Mechanical, I didn't see a whole lot of mechanical errors, but it didn't seem like it was really edited. Like, if this had gone through a couple of edits, maybe would have gotten, like, some suggestions to make it a little bit, to give it a little bit more. Like, somebody would have asked some questions about why does they suddenly jump from this to this kind of thing. To give us a little bit more, just to make like.
Why are people fucking searching for fucking Steve after 20 minutes?
Exactly, yeah. Like this one, I was actually reading. It's like this really doesn't like it doesn't like I can't really see anything mechanically wrong with it to the degree, but it feels unfinished or it feels very like rushed. And like this should have just been. It was pumped out as soon as the guy finished reading it.
This is why. Literature is art. Because technically there's nothing wrong with it. If literature was science, this would be fine.
Yeah.
But it's not science, it's art, and it's wrong. And yeah, like, it's because of the way the story flows. It has nothing to do with, the way it's written.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like, it's like, from, like, the technique is fine, but the way the story was, like the way the guy, like worded things and stuff like that comes off kind of clunky.
Yeah, the way... Well, just, there's fucking... There are logic, people looking for. But, yeah, it's just... I don't know. It's written competently. It's just written shitty.
Yeah.
Like, technically, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I agree kind of with that one, because, just kept looking at it and was just like, well, I knew there was going to be a bad one at some point this month. Yeah, honestly, that's really all I have about this one, is that, like, it looks like somebody was trying to make some kind of a... Like, just trying to dump all the
introductory course
for
to
Slenderman in a story, and it just comes out kind of dry. Like, there's no real...
Yeah.
There's, like, the stuff that he added to the story didn't really
If you're gonna do an introduction to Slenderman, that's gonna be a fucking long-ass story.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it's...
Also, like, the black mark...
It's not gonna work like...
I guess I have a little bit more. What the heck? Like, we're like...
Is it a tattoo? Is it burned?
Like, is the circle with the cross, or with the crisscross in it, like the operator symbol from Hornets? Like, because that's the most popular one. Or is it just like a black mark? Like, I just assumed it was like a black band of like burnt flesh or something. Like... What? Like, it's
not
never
burnt
addressed.
flesh because he's not in fucking excruciating pain.
Yeah, so it's just a black inky mark. But it's never addressed, like, even as he's right, like,
but it is addressed. But it's not addressed about, like,
Slenderman.
What the fuck it is.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, he did this. He marked me. I'm gonna, go marry him.
And, like... That's kind of the thing of Slenderman, is that he's supposed to be like an unknowable force in some cases. But give us some more information. You can give him a description or give him some things without making him like defining him.
Well, and does the mark really even have to be there?
Yeah. Like, why did he have to do it? Like, it seemed like he was going to, like, that had some importance, but it really has no importance.
Yeah. So either give it, some sort of, like, validate its existence or get rid of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
also...
Is he start having, like, bad dreams, or, like nightmares, or sleepwalking now? Has he been marked as a servitor of the Slenderman? That's kind of where I was thinking
it was going to go.
But no, we don't get that.
I was actually thinking that, he's just fucking, marking you so that it's like a fucking tracking device. He's coming for you, man. Yeah. You're fucked.
The Slenderman is cometh. Oh.
But you know what I mean? Like,
that's kind of where I figured it was. But at the same time, it's like, he nodded, and I'm like,
it's like what?
Okay, again, I know that Slenderman's
I'm sorry, you're letting him live because he's got idiots looking for him after 20 minutes. Like,
they're far away. You can just slit him open now and just bring him on a tree and then fade into the darkness. And
fucking snap his neck and go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're worried about making a getaway.
Poison. Like, what if that's like a toxic mark? It's like. Leaves him horribly like in agony and like misshapen on the ground as he fades into black as the people show up. Boom! There's our horror story.
Yeah, I don't really understand what's so special about Steve that he has to face Slenderman and live.
Yeah.
I mean,
like this feels as much an introductory story to Slenderman as it is apparently like it kind of almost feels like he was like, well, maybe I'll write some more after this, like Steve's adventures, but like. We don't get that because Steve never comes back again in any story that at least I've seen. I don't know. Somebody wants to leave an email saying, "Oh, the chronicles of Steve and Slenderman are all over the place. You're just missing it. It's a blog now." I don't know
They
why.
got an apartment. They got an apartment together. A regular odd couple.
One's a cemetery worker, the other's a horrible abomination against nature. Together they live in an apartment. One's messy, one's clean. Oh, God. Okay, so I think that's a good, leave-off point. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend this one, honestly. I mean, it gives you the information that you could just as easily find on Know Your Meme or the Wikipedia site page for Slenderman. The story itself of Steve really doesn't contribute a whole lot.
It doesn't contribute anything that makes any fucking sense.
That's what I mean. There's nothing really there unless it was to be expanded on, but there's no point. So don't. So. Yeah, I can't recommend this one.
No, what I can recommend is that someone actually, do write the introductory Slenderman story that, should be 12 times longer than this one. And just, because there could be a good story there, I'm sure of it. But just, don't rush through it. Take your time.
Yeah.
Write a fucking story. Don't, I don't know what that was, but it was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that concludes episode 2 of Slendermonth. If you like what we heard, or want to have some comments to us, leave them in the comment section below wherever this gets posted, whether it be Kiwi6, Facebook, YouTube, or Tumblr. We're on all those sites at Dente Rigamortis. We're on iTunes. Go send us a review. That would be awesome. Tell us how we're doing. And we're also on Twitter. Dr. Leviathan doesn't really jump on there a whole lot, but I am the resident twit. So yeah. And also you can send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. Where you can also send us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. The intro music and outro music is by Zip Zipper on YouTube. So go check it out. It's the Slenderman song. And that concludes it. So until next time, I've been your host, Review Cultist.
And I'm still Dr. Leviathan.
And this has been Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.
Slenderman, Slenderman, all the children try to run. Slenderman, Slenderman, to him it's part of the fun. Slenderman, Slenderman, dressed in darkest suit and tie. Slenderman, Slenderman, you most certainly will die. Slenderman, Slenderman.